In this video, we're going to learn how to delete through Ajax. So first, let's head to our controllers and API, and let's go to delete to do. Okay. And what we're going to do is, we have the to do ID here. It looks like we'll do a this db delete from to do where there we go. To do ID equals this input to do input post to do ID, and we also want to do it where the user ID is the same guy. So user ID equals this session user data user ID. That way nobody can hit up the URL and delete someone else's item. Now for creating them, it only creates items for the guy that's logged in, so that's protected. So I'll call this result. I'll say if result, and I'm getting a little tired of typing this JSON code. I'll just copy this here and back to delete to do. I'll just say result is 1. Otherwise, set output JSON cold result is 0, and I suppose we'll throw in a message. We'll say message is since we have that message, well, let's just do a string. Could not delete, and that's good enough. Okay, so in our public, let's go to our JS junior dashboard, and this will start with an event, and we'll go to delete to do, and we need to look at our template at what we have. We have a to do ID, and then we have a delete down here. So I'll call this class equals to do delete, and then I'll just copy that, and we'll say dot to do delete dot live click function EVT prevent default, so it doesn't do the link stuff. And if you're wondering what live does, basically it's the same as click and everything, but when a new element is added to the page, the delete will still have this new listener on it. Okay, so, and let's see what we did. We did a post. Let's actually put the URL in there. So the href would be API/to-do delete, and then the object ID. Just copy this here and paste. So it looks like that. And we want to get the href, so var URL equals this attribute href. So post to URL, and then the post data, I suppose it's actually not using this, my mistake. Let me take this out. So it goes to API to do delete. Let me just do data ID equals object to do ID. Okay, so then we'll say var post data equals this dot attribute data ID. We'll make this an object because you need the post objects, and I'll say to do ID and get rid of that semicolon there, and post data function O, and we'll say if result equals 1, else result dot error O dot message result dot success deleted. And then we're going to want to remove it from the DOM. So I'll say this. Well, we're in the post context, so we're going to want to get it right here. So I'll say var self equals this, and I'll say self dot remove, but that's only going to remove the item there, so we're going to have to go to a parent. So let's go to the parent of the div. This dot parent div. Okay, and this has to be o dot result. Okay, so let's try that out. Refresh, and where's all my good stuff? Let me relog in. Looks like we have an error. No method live. Oh, we're using the latest jQuery, so this will be on a click. It actually might be just on click. Let's try it out. Refresh, delete. Okay. Well, if evt.prevent default, I'll just change that to E because it's confusing me. On click, refresh. So that's not binding properly. There was a little funny change here where sometimes you have to pass in what it is. Let me go back here. So this might have to be the second guy. Click A. Weird thing is that is an anchor, so I'll have to change this. How annoying. A to do delete. Let me try that real quick. jQuery 1.9. Okay, so it looks like it's not. A is part of the to do delete, so this should just be div since it's inside a div. Kind of weird. Refresh and delete, and we get all these errors. So I'll click this link, open link in new tab. Do I have that URI? API, oh, it's delete to do, not to do delete. So templates, over at the end here, this will be delete to do. And let's refresh and delete. Error. Okay, delete. Well, at least it's working. Curiously, I don't know what the error is. So that would be under the API. It is posting the to-do ID, so let's make sure that's getting posted. If I scroll up, let's go to the headers and the form data. To-do ID is getting posted. Okay. And just for fun, let's say I delete this and there's an error and I refresh the page, it's gone. So our error reporting looks like it's not correct. So if result of a delete is successful, it returns 1. Otherwise it says could not delete. Well, that's curious. I believe we need to do this DB affected rows. Okay. So if DB affected rows is greater than 0, return 1. Let's see if that works. Delete. Error. Could not delete. That's strange. Echo DB affected rows. Let's see what that gives us. Refresh. Delete. 0 affected rows. So is our delete even working? Delete to do inside an array where the to do ID and the user ID so it's time to debug. We'll do a print R of that array, comment that guy out and see what happens. Delete. And we have user ID is 1, to do ID is 14. If I look in here, it's right there. I'm thinking it might be due to the foreign key restraints. Foreign keys on delete shouldn't do anything. What's the user has no foreign keys. On update, I'll just change that to no action. And note, I'll change that to no action. Let's try to delete it straight from MySQL. Delete from to do, where to do ID equals 15. One row affected. 15's gone. So I'll just put this back to how it was. Okay, and this doesn't need a result because the affected rows. So if I refresh, I try to delete, I get, wow, that gets called a lot. I think I see what the problem is. It's getting called over and over. When I click it once, it gets called all these times. And we had a successful result. Strange behavior. Okay, so affected rows is working. It's the event. Div on click. That's because this on click is targeting everything. This really should work with this here. On click. To do delete, refresh, delete. Add a couple of these in there. Okay. And my post date is all good, but this is not triggering how I want. Let me check my jQuery version. 1.9.1. I've had problems with this before. Alright, I'm just going to do this body, and then we'll just click it like that with there. Okay, that's kind of annoying, but I don't know what else to do. Refresh and delete, and it says an error. Delete, result is 1, result is 1. So it shouldn't be an error. Looks like we're returning the wrong thing. Result is 1 when we delete. So if result equals 1, result success, else. Having bad luck today. So why is this error getting triggered? O.result right here. We've done this before. We're returning the right thing, result of 1. O.result console.log O, refresh console, and let's see, when we delete we get, I forgot to pass the JSON. That's why. Alright, now we got it working. Delete, delete, delete. Well, these are all named the same thing. Let me do ABC 1 2 3 pig dog. Okay, so delete, 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 refresh, and it saves it. There, we finally got it, guys. Well, this wasn't as comprehensive and straightforward as I wanted it to be, but I'm going to keep this video here because I feel like it's good debugging practice. Thanks for watching.